Good morning students, welcome to All for C Learning. Students, yesterday we discussed about uniform velocity, non-uniform velocity, instantaneous velocity and related problems in kinematics one-dimensional motion. Today we will discuss some more problems related to those topics that will strengthen you in velocity concept. So, today's first example problem is displacement time graph is shown in figure. Describe the motion of the body. A displacement time graph or a displacement time graph for a particle is shown in figure. So, from this we have to describe the motion of the body. Who decides the motion? Motion is decided by velocity. Motion is decided by velocity. If velocity is 0, body will be at rest. If velocity is positive, body moving in one direction. If velocity is negative, then body moves exactly opposite direction. So, motion is decided by velocity. So, here we have to discuss the describe the motion of the body. In the sense, we have to discuss the velocity of the body. Okay, so from here at the beginning of the motion, slope is more. In the sense, velocity of the particle is more. As the particle moves from origin to some other point, its slope gradually decreases. Here it has less slope when compared to this. Suppose I am calling this O and this point as some A and this point as some B. At A has less slope when compared to slope at O. Similarly, B has less slope when compared to slope at A. Similarly, if you consider a point C, C has a less slope when compared to B or A. So, slope of O is greater than slope of A, slope at A is greater than slope at B is greater than slope at C. Slope at C. So, velocity at O is greater than velocity at A is greater than velocity at B is greater than velocity at C. So, as you move from origin to some other point, its velocity gradually decreases. So, body moves with a decreasing velocity. So, body moves with a decreasing velocity. Body moves with a decreasing velocity. From this graph, you can conclude these points. Okay. Next, what is our next question? Displacement of a particle is given by S is equal to 3t square plus 4t plus 5. 3t square plus 4t plus 5. Find the velocity of the particle at a t equal to 2 seconds. Find the velocity of the particle at a t equal to 2 seconds. To find the velocity at a t equal to 2 seconds, in the sense that is a instantaneous velocity at a t equal to 2 seconds. This t equal to 2 seconds indicates body, they are asking instantaneous velocity. So, actually a displacement function that is given by 3t square plus 4t plus 5. So, velocity of the particle is given by, we already know that this can be written as ds by dt, or this is instantaneous velocity. This is instantaneous velocity. This instantaneous velocity is given by ds by dt. How to calculate this ds by dt? This is d by dt of 3t square plus 4t plus 5. 3t square plus 4t plus 5. This is nothing but d by dt of, take d by dt for every term, that is d by dt of 3t square plus d by dt of 4t plus d by dt of 5. d by dt of 5. We know that derivative of constant is 0. Derivative of constant is 0. So, here 3 is in multiple of t square, so it is taken out. So, this is 3 into dt square by dt plus 4 taken out, 4 into dt by dt plus is 5, derivative of 5, that is 0. So here this is t square, on derivative of t square we already known that d by dt of some t power n, this is n into t power n minus 1. So this is t square, so it can be written as 3 into here our n is 2, so 2 into t power 2 minus 1 plus 4 into dt 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 by dt, that is 1 plus 0. This is 3 into 2, that is 6 into t plus 4. This is our velocity equation. Our velocity equation is 60 plus 4. Student, I am explaining this question. This is different from all the questions we solved. What is the velocity of the particle at a t equal to 2 seconds? This is our question. Displacement of the body is given by s is equal to 3t square plus 4t plus 5. 3t square plus 4t plus 5. So here to calculate the velocity, take the derivative, that is v equal to ds by dt, that is d by dt of 3t square plus 4t plus 5. So this t square is taken in one derivative, 4t is another derivative and 5 was third derivative. So this is, on taking 3 outside, this is dt square by dt plus 4 dt by dt plus 0. Here why? Because this is 0, derivative of constant is 0. So we know that d by dt of some constant, any constant, that is 0. So this is 3 t square derivative 2 into 2 power t power 2 minus 1 plus 4 into dt dt 1 derivative of t. This is 60 plus 4. We have to calculate velocity at a t equal to 2 seconds. At a t equal to 2 seconds, this velocity equation becomes 6 into 2 plus 4. This is 12 plus 4, 16. If this displacement is in meters, this is 16 meter per second. 16 meter per second. Similarly, we have one more question, that is displacement of body is given by x is equal to a e power minus alpha t plus b e power minus beta t. What is the general equation for velocity of the particle? We have to find general equation. They do not ask the instantaneous velocity. So this x is given by a e power minus alpha t plus b e power beta t. Here is no negative sign, so that is beta t. So velocity of the particle is given by dx by dt. Velocity of the particle is given by dx by dt. So this dx by dt is nothing but d by dt of a e power minus alpha t plus b e power plus beta t. So v is, on taking a outside, a into d by dt of e power minus alpha t plus b into d by dt of e power beta t. Okay. Here we have to know one formula related to this problem, that is d by dt of e power x, e power some ax, its derivative is d by dt e power at, call it as some t, or you can take alpha t, it is better, e power alpha t. So its derivative is alpha times of e power alpha t, alpha times of e power alpha t. We already know this formula. So taking velocity as a into d by dt is e power minus alpha t A into alpha, this alpha is negative here, so you have to write minus alpha, plus b into its derivative e power beta t, so that is beta times of e power beta t. So our velocity is minus a alpha e power minus alpha t plus b beta e power beta t. This is our general equation for velocity of the particle. These are three important problems. I will discuss some more problems related to these concepts. Students, I have one more problem here. Problem is, two cars P and Q starts from a point and the same instant. Suppose these are the lines travelled by the two cars. This is first car, this is P, and this is second car, this is Q. Same instant they started from their positions, and given by position of P is given by AT plus BT square, and position of Q is given by FT minus T square. So find the time at which both cars have same velocity. Both cars have same velocity. They are asking both cars should have same velocity. They do not ask the same position. So somewhere, suppose if this car is at here, it has some velocity in this direction, some v. This car may be somewhere, it may be, suppose I am assuming this, it has the same velocity. Their positions may be different, but velocities must be same. So then find the time, they are asking the time. So actually I have position of P, that is AT plus BT square. How to calculate velocity of P? By taking derivative. So velocity of P is given by dxp by dt, that is d by dt of AT plus BT square, AT plus BT square. This is A into dt by dt plus B into d by dt of t square, d by dt of t square. This is A into 1. This is velocity of P plus B into, we already known that t derivative of t square, that is 2t. So this is 2A into t. Similarly, we can calculate velocity of Q. Position of Q is xq, that is ft minus t square. So velocity of Q is given by d by dt of ft minus t square, that is f is a constant, d by dt minus this is f t square, so d by dt of t square. We know that dt by dt is 1, this is f minus 2t, f minus 2t, this is velocity of Q. This velocity of P and velocity of Q both are same. So velocity of P is equal to velocity of Q, that is A plus 2bt, this is 2bt, this is A plus 2bt, this is equal to F minus 2t, F minus 2t. From this we can solve. F is a constant, A is a constant, so taking this 2t to the left, we can get 2bt plus 2t, that is equal to F minus A. So on taking common t, you can calculate F minus A by 2b plus 2. This is the time where the both cars have the same velocity. Students, it is one important problem for JEE mains exam, and similarly for advanced exam also. Practice these questions. Students, I have two problems related to one problem on graph, another problem on instantaneous velocity. This is position of a particle on x-axis is given by x is equal to 40t plus 12t minus t cube. Find the time at which particle comes to rest. At which particle comes to rest. For this position is given by x is equal to 40t plus 12t minus t cube. On taking derivative for this, we can get velocity or instantaneous velocity. This instantaneous velocity is given by dx by dt. Students, remember dr by dt, this is position. This gives instantaneous velocity, or ds by dt, this gives displacement, it is also velocity. Here I am writing dx by dt, x in the sense it also gives position on x axis. So derivative of this is also equal to velocity. This is equal to 40 d by dt of 40 t plus 12t minus t cube. So on taking derivative to each term, this is dt by dt 40t. So I think it is wrong, 40, not 40t, 40. So why? Because there are no two t's. So this is derivative of constant. So this is d by dt of 40 plus 12 into dt by dt minus d by dt of t cube, d by dt of t cube. So this is derivative of constant 0 plus 12 dt by dt is 1 minus t cube in the sense 3t square. We already know that d by dt of t power n is n into t power n minus 1. So based on that, this is t cube, that is 3 into t power 3 minus 1, that is 2. So velocity of the particle is given by 12 minus 3t square. In this question, they are asking the time at which particle comes to rest. Particle comes to rest in the sense, when particle comes to rest, its velocity becomes 0, right? So this is 0. So 0 is equal to 12 minus 3t square. So here t is, or you can take it as t square is equal to 12 by 3, that is 4. So I am writing here, so t is equal to plus or minus 2. So this particle comes to rest 2 times at a t equal to minus 2 seconds and a t equal to plus 2 seconds. In generally, time is always positive. We can move in forward direction in time, not backward direction. So this minus 2 is not acceptable. So t is equal to 2 seconds is the right answer. So at t equal to 2, this particle's velocity becomes 0 if it follows this equation. Okay. Next, our next question is, the velocity time graph is shown in figure. This is the velocity time graph. Find the displacement and distance travelled by the particle. Displacement and distance travelled by the particle. Students, we already know that the area under the velocity time graph gives displacement travelled by the body. Area under velocity time graph gives displacement travelled by the body. So this is the area. Suppose I am calling this area as some A1, this area as some A1, and this area as some A2. So first I am calculating these two areas. First area A1 is equal to positive area. I am calling this area as positive area because this is positive x axis and this is positive v axis or positive time axis, positive velocity axis. So area is half base is 10 seconds, 10 into height, this is velocity, this velocity in meter per second, so this is 20, this positive area, that is, to gets cancelled, this is 100 meters, and area A2, this I am calling this area as negative area. Why? Because time axis is positive but velocity axis is negative, this is minus 10 meter per second. So I am calling this area as negative area. So this area is given by half, it is also triangle, half base is 10 and base is 5 and height is 10. So this is 25 meters. So if particle travels in straight line, then distance and displacement. I mean, a particle starts here, it travels 100 meters forward, and then return back to 25 meters. So I am drawing like this. This is 25 meters. So it starts here at A and it reaches some maximum point B and then return back to C. So what is your distance? Distance is length of the actual path. So distance from here to particle starts from here to here, it travels 100 meters and then back 25 meters. So you can write distance as 100 plus 25, that is 125 meters, and displacement from here to here, body travels 100 meters and return back to 25 meters. So distance is 100 minus 25, that is 75 meters. 100 minus 25, that is 75 meters. So students, remember, if they gave graphs like this, then distance is given by A1 plus A2, displacement is given by A1 minus A2. This is important graph. Okay. Students, up to here we discussed about average velocity, uniform velocity, non-uniform velocity, at the same time instantaneous velocity and related graphs. All these concepts are discussed. Our next topic is change in velocity. So change in velocity. So if a body moves from one point to another point, suppose if its velocity changes from v1 to v2, I am taking one example to discuss the concept. Suppose a body starts from A, it travels from here to here, A to B. Here its velocity is in this direction, its velocity is some v1. After traveling some point B, its velocity here is in this direction, its velocity is some v2. So how to calculate this change in velocity? This change in velocity can be written as, this is v2 minus v1. Here all velocities are vectors. So this is v1 bar and this is v2 bar. v2 bar minus v1 bar, that is vector subtraction. On subtracting these two vectors, you will get another vector. That vector is a change in velocity vector. So first of all, we have to subtract these two vectors. How to subtract these two vectors? We already known in our vectors concept. Even though I am trying one more time, that is, this is v2 bar plus of minus v1 bar, v2 bar plus of minus v1 bar. On subtracting, to subtract this, first of all we have to change the direction of v1. So first I am changing this vector into this direction. Suppose this is this is v1. Here I am drawing v1 with dotted lines. So a minus V1 with a thick line. This is minus V1, and if theta is angle between the two vectors, here we have to subtract V1. How to subtract V1? We have to reverse the direction of V1. That is, if this is V1, I am represented here with dotted lines. This is minus V1. On adding these two vectors, you will get change in vector. So for this, I am using parallelogram law to draw a parallelogram. I am shifting this vector to here. This is also V2. This is also V2, and taking this vector to here, this is also V1, this is also V1. So this will be the resultant of these two parallelogram law, or you can follow triangle law. Tail head, first tail to second head is the resultant. This gives the change in velocity vector. Actually, this is the angle theta here. So if that is theta, this will be 180 minus theta. This will be 180 minus theta. How to calculate the magnitude of this change in vector, change in velocity? Change in velocity, that is resultant of these two vectors. If I am calling this as P and this as Q, this is P bar plus Q bar. So resultant is given by under root V1 square plus V2 square plus 2V1 V2 into cos of angle between these two is 180 minus theta. So this is 180 minus theta. So this will be under root V1 square plus V2 square minus 2V1 V2 cos theta, minus 2V1 V2 cos theta. For our convenience, I am considering two cases only. Or case 1 is if theta is equal to 0 degrees. So if theta is equal to 0, then body moves in a straight line. Then we are already discussing one dimensional motion, so it will be our case. So here this change in velocity is root of V1 square plus V2 square minus 2V1 V2. This is nothing but V1 minus V2. This is the change in velocity. If two vectors in the same direction, change in velocity is V1 minus V2. Next, case 2. In this case, if theta is equal to 180 degrees, then what will happen? This vector will comes to this direction, that is opposite to this. That is also straight line motion. So for that case, I am using this change in velocity as a root of V1 square plus V2 square minus 2V1 V2 into minus 1, since cos 180 is minus 1. So from that you can calculate change in velocity as root of V1 square plus V2 square plus 2V1 V2. 2V1 V2. This is nothing but V1 plus V2. So I am showing a small diagram for these two cases. Body here it moves in a straight line. Here its velocity is V1 and here its velocity is V2. Both are in same direction. Then change in velocity is V1 minus V2. Then change in velocity is V1 minus V2. Similarly, for the second case, if body here it starts moving in this direction with velocity V1, after traveling some distance, suppose its velocity changes into this direction. Suppose this is V2, Then what is the change in velocity? Change in velocity is v1 plus v2. If the two vectors, initial and final vectors are in opposite direction, then change in velocity is given by v1 plus v2. If the initial vector and final vector, initial velocity and final velocity are in the same direction, then change in velocity is given by v1 minus v2. Students, this is very important concept for the next topic. So first learn how to calculate change in velocity. Students, our next topic is acceleration. What is acceleration? First, what is acceleration? What is meant by acceleration? Acceleration is nothing but change in velocity in unit time. Change in velocity of the body or particle, whatever it may be. This change in velocity is called acceleration. Acceleration is generally represented with a symbol a, small a. It is a vector quantity, so it is also written as a bar. This a bar is defined as, this is change in velocity, change in velocity in a unit time. This change in velocity delta v bar, we already calculated it, time is t. So you can write acceleration vector a bar as change in velocity vector by time, or change in time. You can write change in time. This is acceleration. Okay, this acceleration, it is a vector quantity. SI of acceleration is, generally we know that velocity is measured in meter per second, time in seconds. So this SI unit of acceleration is meter per second square. Again, to understand the acceleration is also divided into 4 categories. What are they? They are average acceleration, uniform acceleration, non-uniform acceleration, and instantaneous acceleration. So again, divide this vector acceleration into 4 categories. First is average acceleration. Average acceleration. Second category, that is uniform acceleration. Uniform acceleration. Third, non-uniform acceleration. Non-uniform acceleration. Fourth, instantaneous acceleration. Fourth, instantaneous. So we have 4. If we know all these 4 accelerations, we can understand motion, how it is going on. Okay, our first definition is average acceleration. Our first definition is average acceleration. What is average acceleration? This average acceleration is defined as, it is the ratio between total change in velocity to total time taken. It is the ratio, note down, it is the ratio between total change in velocity to total time taken. Total time taken. It is the ratio between total change in velocity to total time taken. Suppose, to understand this situation, we simply first write the formula. This acceleration velocity is total change in velocity. Total change in velocity by total time taken. To understand the situation, I am considering one example. A particle starts here. It has a change in velocity in this direction, delta v1 bar in time t1. After that, it has change in velocity in this direction, some delta v2 bar, some time t2. and it has change in velocity some delta v3 bar in time t3. How to calculate the total change in velocity? So the total change in velocity, that is delta v, is given by delta v1 bar plus delta v2 bar plus delta v3 bar. This gives the total change in velocity. We know that to add any number, we are adding all these vectors. By adding all these vectors, you will get total change in velocity. So to add this change in velocity, this change in velocity, this change in velocity with vectors polygon law, to add any number of vectors, they are arranged in tail head, tail head, tail head order. The resultant given by the closing side of that polygon. That is, from here to here, you can draw one more vector, that is total change in velocity vector, that is delta v bar. So acceleration or average acceleration of the body is given by delta v1 bar plus delta v2 bar plus delta v3 bar by total time t1 plus t2 plus t3, t1 plus t2 plus t3. So it is also noted if they draw a graph between velocity and a time. Suppose this is some velocity and a time graph. A graph is like this. How to calculate average acceleration with the graph? With the graph, to calculate average acceleration, calculate the slope of the total graph. Suppose particle's motion goes from A to some point B. So to calculate the slope of the total graph, consider initial point and final point. Drop a straight line between those two points and calculate the slope. Suppose this is some t1 and this is t2. This is time axis, and it corresponds to some v1 velocity and it corresponds to some v2 velocity. Average acceleration is given by v2 minus v1 by t2 minus t1. This is the average acceleration related to graph. So average acceleration is one important topic for JEE advanced exam. Okay students, our next topic is uniform acceleration. What is a uniform acceleration? What is uniform acceleration? The definition of uniform acceleration is, if a body have equal change in velocities in equal time intervals, then that body is said to be in uniform acceleration. If a body possesses equal change in velocities in equal time intervals. So note down the definition. If a body possesses equal change in velocities in equal time intervals, then that body is said to be in uniform acceleration. Okay, now suppose I am considering a particular body. It has some change in velocity delta v in time t. Change in velocity is a vector quantity. Vector has two properties, magnitude and direction. So change in velocity must be same. They should possess equal change in velocities, in the sense they should be same in magnitude and direction. Suppose a body have change in velocity some delta v bar in t time. Next t seconds it must have same change in velocity in the same time interval. So next if you consider for same time interval t, it must have same change in velocity, and in the next time interval it must have same change in velocity in the same direction. So then only this particular body is said to be moving with uniform acceleration. In such cases, suppose if you consider this as some suppose this is some example 1 or example 2. Suppose if this body has delta v1 bar change in velocity in t1 time and delta v2 bar change in velocity, delta v2 bar change in velocity in t2 time and delta v3 bar change in velocity in t3 time, then its acceleration then this body, if this body moving with a uniform acceleration, then how to write that particular uniform acceleration? To write that, this is delta v1 bar by t, by taking you will get one value. Similarly, by taking delta v2 bar by t2 you will get another value. Similarly, delta v3 bar by t3 gives another value. If these three values are equal, then only the body is said to be in uniform acceleration. If they are different, then body is not in uniform acceleration. This will be some, so their magnitudes will be constant, that is delta v1 by t1 is equal to delta v2 by t2 is equal to delta v3 by t3. This is equal to some constant. So based on this constant, this uniform acceleration can also be called as constant acceleration. Can also be called as constant acceleration. Students, now I am drawing some graphs related to uniform acceleration only. We know that acceleration uniform, if a body travels with a uniform acceleration, this is a delta v by t, or a bar is delta v bar by t or delta t. So you can write it as delta v bar is equal to a bar into t. So delta v bar in the sense v2 bar minus v1 bar, that is equal to a bar into t. So this v2 bar can be written as v1 bar plus a bar into t. This v2 bar is equal to v1 bar plus a bar into t. So based on this, you may draw velocity time graphs. To draw the velocity time graphs, we must know the directions of a bar and v1 bar. So here I can draw 6 different graphs depending on directions of v1 and a. v1 and a. Our first graph is, I am considering here case 1, this v1 and a bar are in same direction and it is positive, Suppose this is initial velocity vector v1 bar and it is also acceleration vector a bar. Then what will be the equation? Equation v2 is v1 plus at. It is like y equal to constant plus mx. Y equal to constant plus mx. We know that it is uniform, it is moving with a uniform acceleration. So this acceleration will be constant. So if you draw a graph between velocity vector and a time, you will get a straight line like this with a positive y-intercept. Since v1 is positive, by taking the slope, slope of this line is, gives, slope is m is nothing but a, slope is m is equal to a is our acceleration. So by taking slope of the velocity time graph gives the acceleration. So note here, slope of velocity versus time graph gives acceleration. Next, case 2, here I am considering A as positive but V1 is equal to 0. If V1 is equal to 0 and A is positive, our equation V2 becomes 0 plus 80. This is our equation. From 1 I am able to write like this here and here from 1. So this is just like y equal to mx. So if you draw a graph between velocity and time, that gives a straight line passing through origin with this slope, this theta, tan theta is the slope m, that is nothing but acceleration, Students, I am considering third case. If V1 is negative and A is positive, from 1 we can write this V2 is minus V1 plus 80. So if you draw a graph between velocity and time, the function is like this: y is equal to minus constant plus mx. So graph is like this. This is velocity axis and this is time axis. If you consider this angle as some theta, this tan theta is slope or m, that is equal to acceleration. Okay. Now I am considering case 4. In this case, acceleration is negative. This is my assumption. Velocity V1 is positive. Then from 1 I can write this V2 as V1 minus 80. This equation is like y equal to some constant minus mx. In such cases, you can draw a graph like this. This is velocity axis and this is time axis. So here also you can calculate a slope. This tan theta is a negative slope. This tan theta is m, that is equal to acceleration. This negative acceleration has another name, that name is deceleration. I will be discuss it later. Even though no problem at all, write it as acceleration. Next, my fifth case, case 5, acceleration is negative and velocity is 0, V1 is 0. Then our equation from 1 we can write V2 as minus 80. In such cases, we have to draw a graph like this. This is velocity axis and this is time axis. Graph is like this. Similarly, case 6, acceleration is negative. V1 is also negative. From 1 you can write this V2 as minus V1 minus 80. What is the function? Here the function y is equal to minus constant minus mx. It is a graph straight line, minus c minus mx. So if you draw a graph or function like this, this is velocity axis and this is time axis, graph is like this. So here also you can calculate slope, that slope also gives acceleration. Students, up to here we discussed a uniform acceleration. Tomorrow onwards we will discuss non-uniform acceleration, instantaneous acceleration. Practice all these concepts to get good grip on kinematics. Thank you.